Hello, beautiful people. My name is Krystal, and I'm here to try to do justice my experience with John at Introspect Healing over the last 10 months. It's safe to say that I am so much more connected and aligned with my inner being, and it really is attributed to a lot of my time spent with John. So we actually connected around 9-10 months ago now, and it was beautiful, law of attraction, synchronicity, all in play. I had been umming and ahhing about going to one of his group workshops that my yoga studio was hosting, and I was umming and ahhing throughout the day and just walked into this cafe that I had just planned on going to, and felt really called to chat to this guy who was just busy journaling, writing things down, and just felt called to connect. And hello, it's John. And so yeah, naturally I went to the workshop, and then naturally I sought more one-on-one connection with him, because essentially 19 months ago I was a completely different person. I was constantly burnt out, constantly overwhelmed, stressed, living in the fight or flight response all the time. I never napped, never rested, and I was just consumed with this belief that I needed to improve myself, that I always needed to do more and be more. As a result, my body, I was experiencing immense pain in my lower back. I had really inflamed skin, acne, and I essentially was struggling with a lot of digestive issues. I was also very, very hypersensitive, but instead of loving on my emotions and appreciating them and listening to them, I only experienced frustration with it. I was very, very lost in my direction after finishing university and not really having a solid plan or backing myself enough to know that the plan that I was doing was enough. So naturally, I was working multiple different jobs, creating multiple streams of income online, all just trying to feel like I was doing enough to please other people and to feel validated. I relied so heavily on external validation, with words of affirmation being my highest love language. I would hold on to what everyone would say about me and hold that so strongly. I had quite a troubled relationship with an emotionally distant father, and had done for quite a few years. I was also really, really struggling with binge eating. So it would be this vicious cycle where I would restrict, trying to change my body, trying to improve myself more, and then would overeat and binge and uncontrollably gorge myself, basically. And it just became the cycle of hatred of my body and not understanding how to break that cycle. I would hit train 6 days a week, and would really beat myself up if I were to miss a training session. I would also very, very much struggle to set boundaries and say no to things. I was the one who would do everything and always be the one who puts in the most amount of effort and go to things that I didn't want to go to. And I was wondering why I was experiencing these physical symptoms, and that was like really my focus. I was like, okay, I'll have the diet and I'll have the magnesium spray all to try and change these physical symptoms. But really, I didn't realize that there was actually that deeper purpose behind it. So yeah, naturally connected one-on-one with John and his beautiful soul ascension journeys. And as soon as I arrived, I just felt so held, so seen and so validated. I cried, I think, straight away, just by feeling that energy in the room of just feeling so loved and supported, and safe to get vulnerable. And he'd drawn out all these blockages on an empath chart that I was already feeling and already experiencing. So it just felt beautiful to be seen and be heard in that way. Then we go into the soul ascension actual journey, and yeah, wow. I find it's quite hard to actually put it into words, but essentially you are supported not only by John, but he also calls in all your guides. I never had felt so aware and connected to my higher self, but felt that connection. And essentially he communicates or guides you to communicate with your body what the learnings and lessons are from muscle tension or pain or anything like that, And it was so interesting within my first session. I literally had just laid on the bed and my body started to communicate. And then you dive back, is it this lifetime? Is it a past lifetime? And he allows you to feel so safe as you go back into these times where you can really actually start to feel that emotional response. It can be perceived as something quite intimidating, but I never felt unsafe. I never felt like I needed to be worried. Just having John there was really beautiful. For instance, like there was past lifetimes that I'd gone to where I was shackled into slavery. I was doing jobs that weren't in alignment with my inner being and forced into them. I was forced into relationships that I didn't want to be in. And it's so beautiful to really link and understand that when we don't actually address these learnings and lessons from past lifetimes, they flow into this lifetime again and create these reoccurring physical or mental patterns for ourselves. So that awareness was so beautiful, and it was really, really special to connect with my soul, connect with the different parts of me, connect with my guides. I feel like I just have this zoomed out perspective of my current life now. It's no longer happening necessarily like to me, and it's more for me, and everything has this learning or lesson from it. And I always heard people say, and it's all happening in divine timing and things like that, but now I feel like I really believe that. Instantly after finishing my first session, it felt like someone had gone in my eyes because I just see the world so differently now. Instantly after my first session, I remember looking in the mirror for the first time and almost being brought to tears at how beautiful I looked. And I'd never been able to see that before. I'd never had that appreciation for myself. I remember going to the beach the next day and seeing the beach. Like, it was so beautiful. And it was the same beach that I've lived at for 2 years. But it was just like this whole new perspective and appreciation and understanding of my world. A whole new appreciation and acceptance and understanding of time. Honestly, my whole perspective of time's changed as well. I remember the next day still writing down this list of everything that I wanted to do and achieve that day. And the day after this session with John, I woke up, looked at it, crossed it out, and rolled back into bed. But I've done 4, maybe 5 sessions with John over the last 9-10 months, and that has just been so pivotal. I also received such amazing, kind love and support from him from all my questions during my integration and during my growth phase. He is always there for any question that I have. The support doesn't stop just for the session, which I think is really rare. I've had other support in the past where it kind of just stops in the sessions, and integration is such a key pivotal part of the transformation, right? So where I'm at now, so much more connected and aligned with myself. I feel like my focus has changed from how can I do more, how can I be more, to how can I come to a place of love and acceptance of myself. I feel like my whole focus and energetic vibration has changed, and these beautiful connections have come into my life. John just helping seamlessly tie them all together, and from my vibration attracting them now, I then attracted a beautiful business partner, and we've gone on to create our own business that is so in alignment with myself. It's no longer this like stressful burden of like how am I going to be enough, how is what I'm doing enough. It just feels flow, and I have to keep pinching myself like this is work that I'm doing, and it just in no way feels like work, because it just feels like I'm living my authentic purpose. I've just moved so much more into alignment with my purpose and my values, which is really, really beautiful. And I'm no longer like worrying, trying to please everyone else. I cut back on my hours at different jobs. I ended jobs that were no longer in alignment with me. I sleep in. I focus on how can I be gentler to myself, and that love and kindness and support for myself. My lower back pain is no more, which is crazy. And my skin is the clearest that it's ever been. I honestly have shifted my focus from HIIT training 6 days a week to now I actually don't even HIIT train. Awareness of my nervous system and all the years in fight or flight, I'm on a journey of really tuning in with myself and beach walking and doing yoga. And if you'd told me to miss a HIIT training session 10 months ago, there's no way that I would do it. I remember people always saying to me, like, Krystal, you just need to like slow down, just like chill out, like, you know, take the day off. I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand. I can't, I don't have time. And so it's so beautiful to stand here now before you, acknowledging that I know that I'm worth my time to rest and to look after myself. I know that I'm worth setting healthy boundaries around my time and saying no without needing to apologize and justify. But as a whole, in general, I feel like I've just stepped into my essence. I've discovered who I am, and without those beliefs and expectations, and just being able to let it shine unapologetically. And now I'm actually helping others do just that as well. So I've definitely implemented other things other than my sessions with John, but I wholeheartedly believe that so much of it is attributed to the shifts that we experience, and it becomes that snowball synchronicity events of just such transformation. Like, this work is like deep, meaningful transformation. So if you're here to like scratch the surface, you're in the wrong space. This is where you up level. This is where you strip back those layers, you discover who you are at your core, and you let it shine unapologetically. I just have so much gratitude. I actually felt a little bit emotional just then. So much gratitude for John and everything that he has done for me in my journey. I am a completely different person to who I was 10 months ago, and at the start it felt like an identity shift, but I've realized that it's actually just me returning home to who I am. And yeah, I just can't thank him enough. So if you're watching this and you're umming and ahhing, this is your sign. This is your sign that you're here for a reason, and to just take that plunge. It's honestly so worth it. Lots of love. Reach out to me if you have any questions.